Hello and welcome back to my channel Pinks on Wheels. It is day 3 and I am at Kukke Subrahmanya. Today's video is going to be a little different from my other videos because it's not a ride from one place to another. Instead, I'm going to be spending some time talking about the significance of this place and about the significance of temples and pujas overall. A few years back, had someone asked me the meaning of pujas and the meaning of visiting temples, I'd say that these are rituals, and rituals by definition are a series of tasks that are performed in a prescribed manner, passed on from one generation to another, passed on to us from our ancestors, and that there was no deeper meaning behind all of this. It's only in the last few years that I've uncovered and experienced that the act of puja, that the act of visiting a temple has so much meaning behind it, has such depth to the extent that it's actually rooted in our personal freedom. So, as I embark on this solo ride across some parts of Karnataka, experiencing a certain kind of freedom on my bike, I have also planned my route in a way that I'll be visiting some of the most significant temples in this route. While I'm at these places, I will share a little bit of what I know about the significance. Now, Kukke Subramanya is also located in a very scenic place. The Kumara Parvatas trek actually starts from here. So I'm going to take my bike and ride around a little bit and find a place where I can share the significance of Kukke Subramanya, of pujas and temples a little bit more. That's the plan. Let's get going for day 3. I would love to make it back here for the sunset. Okay, so I found a place that's a little away from the direct traffic, but also not too far away because I can see my bike right there. So if I have to scoot, I can scoot real fast. See, in my social circles or in any of my conversations with my friends, we're always contemplating life. We're contemplating the meaning of life. We're contemplating why we're here, why are certain things happening to us. And it turns out that thousands of years ago, our rishis and munis have already answered all of these questions for us. Not just answered the questions, but they've also given us systems, procedures, ways for us to understand the meaning of life. It's documented in the form of Vedas. Vedas in itself means knowledge. They've really understood the origin story and in all of their observation of the universe, of Prakriti, which is nature or the natural form, they've observed that what is outside in the universe is also within us, meaning that we are a microcosmic representation of the macrocosm. So in order for us to not experience a conflict in our day-to-day living, we've got to go through that journey of living in perfect alignment with nature. And it is also observed that the energies that constitute this universe is called Prakritik Shakti, Prakritik natural, Shakti energy. And to represent these Prakritik Shaktis, it's expressed in the form of Devatas, which is why we have so many expressions, we have so many Devatas. In fact, it is said that the entire universe is an expression of Devata. So yeah, the forest, the trees, the air, the water, all of it are divine expressions of Devatas. So when there is a particular Devata that we do a puja to, puja in itself means the process of gaining knowledge. So when we're doing a puja, we're trying to imbibe that Shakti, that particular Prakritik Shakti within us. So temples of different devatas are for the same reason. It's to imbibe that particular Prakritik Shakti within us. And that, I think, is a pretty mindful process, very contrary to my earlier understanding of it just being a ritual, of it just being a series of actions with really no deeper meaning behind it. So that's a little bit about how my understanding has changed about pujas. Let me also get to what the significance of this places of Kukke Subramanya in itself is. I will tell you the story of Kukke Subramanya in two parts. I'll start with the Puranic story of Kukke Subramanya, which we sometimes refer to as mythology, and then I will also talk about the principles or the tattva behind it. So the Puranic story goes that Lord Subramanya was born to Shiva and Shakti to kill a demon called Tarakasura, who was creating havoc on earth. Tarakasura had mastered the Panchamahabhutas, the 5 elements. He had gained complete mastery over it. And just like it happens to this day also, people in positions of power, people who have gained mastery, can always misuse it. Subramanya also gained mastery over the 5 elements and the 6th element called Gnana, and then came over to earth and killed Tarakasura. And that's why, in that sense, is credited to bringing Gnana to earth. So this is also why Subramanya is sometimes called Shanmuga, which is 6 heads, 6 faces. And subsequent to the war, Subramanya was given the title of Lord of Devas and is said to be residing in Kukke, which is why this place has so much significance. So now an understanding of the tattva, the principle behind it. Subramanya is representative of Gnana Shakti. Earlier we had spoken about how each of the devatas signify a certain energy in this universe, and Subramanya signifies that higher state of being when you achieve complete control over your mind. And we all know how the mind can take us in the wrong direction. Examples of Tarakasura, who used all of his knowledge for the wrong reasons. Examples of Ravana, who again, after doing so much of tapas, he still misused all of his power for the wrong reasons and all of his understanding for the wrong reasons. So mind can certainly create havoc if it's not in our control. And in Sanskrit, humans are actually called Manushya. Manushya meaning someone who operates through their mind. So Manas is represented by snakes. If you've seen my video on Lepakshi, the earlier video on Lepakshi, I've very briefly spoken about this also. Now it is represented as snakes because it's fast moving and it can also be pretty poisonous. So Subramanya is usually depicted sitting on a peacock, which also eats these snakes. And if you've seen a picture of Subramanya on a peacock, usually there's a snake underneath that peacock. So Subramanya is representative of that energy, of that Shakti, to gain control over our own manas, our own mind, and eventually reach Gnana. So that's the significance of this place. And lastly, this place is called Kukke Subramanya. Kukke means Bala or child, and it's representative of how a child's manas is very pure and not as complicated. So that's why here in Kukke, Subramanya is worshipped in Bala Rupa, in a child form, just like in many other places also. So that's a little bit about Kukke Subramanya, just my understanding of the deeper meaning behind all of this. I think it's about time for sunset. Let me see if I can get to that place in time. I'm so glad I made it to the sunset. It's beautiful and there's so much fish in this water here. The sky is pink or pinks. I am probably going to get food after this, maybe in about an hour or so. But I'm going to end this vlog. Tomorrow will be an early day and we're headed to the next destination. So I'll see you on my next ride. Thank you for joining me today.